So you guys probably already know why this video is up late. I was at Daytona. I had a different perspective of the race, which I'll make a video of that later, showing you guys like the perspective I had. So this race review is going to be different because I wasn't watching it on TV. I probably didn't hear a lot of the things that the analysts and commentators were talking about. I probably didn't pick up on some things. So I'm not going to be probably as knowledgeable as I'm probably not even knowledgeable beforehand. You guys know way more than I do. But basically, this race review is going to be a little bit different, so let's get right into it. I'm just going to get the results of the stages, like, kind of out of the way. Stenhouse. Stage 1, Stage 2, it was to Stenhouse. He got 2 playoff points, and I got bonus points, which is what he needed, because he was 17th in points. We'll get into him a little bit later. Stenhouse was probably the guy of the night, to say the least. Basically, this race review is going to be all about the wrecks, which is what the race was. It was a crazy-ass race. I probably don't know the exact order these wrecks were into or like what lap it was, because when you're at the race, you don't have like the same, I would say, knowledge like what lap it is and every time because you're kind of busy. So I know the first wreck though was Paul Menard. He got turned down the back straightaway, and his race was, you think would be done, but you think a lot of guys when they wrecked at Daytona or Talladega would be done, but Menard had to fix his car up. Before later in the race, I think his car, the hood or something, just like went straight up, because where I was at in the infield, I saw his car just scroll on by with the hood just like up on the windshield. So I think after that, his race was probably over. But let's get into the big wrecks. So the first big wreck took out my pick and my driver that I support, which is Chase Elliott. Took out a lot of guys. So headed down the back straightaway, William Byron's leading, puts a block on Keselowski. Stenhouse then turns Keselowski into Elliott, and then mayhem ensues. Jimmy Johnson makes a fantastic ass save to not get any damage, and just it's craziness. Now Brad Keselowski put some blame on William Byron because Byron blocked and Keselowski lifted, which then put Stenhouse on the wrong side of Keselowski and turned him. He was the driver, so he probably knows best in that situation. However, there are many times that drivers have blocked in the lead, and William Byron was just doing what Brad Keselowski, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney always do, and he blocked and he didn't get turned, and that's because Keselowski lifted a little bit. But hey, I mean, Byron did it, and Keselowski decided to lift. Does that make the wreck Byron's fault? Not really, because Byron didn't turn anyone. Ricky Stenhouse, as the third car, for some reason, was way too close, and he wanted to be full throttle all the time. He didn't have to be full throttle that moment. He got checked up just a little bit. It's early in the race. You don't have to be right on the bumper of Keselowski. You don't have to be right there just in case Keselowski makes a move and has to check up a little bit, which happens a lot. You don't have to be right on the bumper that early on in the race, and Stenhouse then turns Keselowski, and Keselowski goes into the wall. So if you wanted to put some sort of blame, you know, Keselowski's blaming Byron. A lot of fans are blaming Stenhouse. I don't think it's as like the blame isn't really, you know, going to one direction here, even though Stenhouse was the one that turned Keselowski. It's a little bit more complicated than that, and you just gotta throw in the factor that it's Daytona, it's Talladega, it happens. It's plate racing. Plate racing just costs teams millions of dollars, and they know this. But that's kind of like strike one for Stenhouse, because I still think that was his fault, because you can get off the pedal just a little bit. When that driver in front of you makes that move, you don't have to be like right on his bumper. A great example of this was 2006 when Jimmy Johnson made the move on Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Vickers turned Jimmy Johnson. It's the same kind of deal where that driver in front of you makes the move and you try timing it right. It doesn't work often. That was the first wreck, and unfortunately my guy, Chase Elliott, this poor guy, he doesn't do anything wrong. He's just chilling on the outside, and whammo, he gets put into the wall and wrecked from a spinning Keselowski. So it is what it is. We'll get into Chase later too. Then we go to the second big wreck, and this one, oh my, I remember watching this in turn 4, and I saw this on the big screen, and I just, Jesus Christ. Ricky Stenhouse, for some reason, sliding up the track, trying to side draft Kyle Busch for some reason. I don't know why. Turns Kyle Busch into William Byron, causes another big wreck that takes out another part of the field. This one, I just don't understand at all. I can't understand it. Not a second. I really can't. Because when you're in that car, you use sound. You can hear where cars are. If there's a car to your right, you can hear where they are, and you could judge how close you are to that car just through sound. With the headrests and everything, you can't really see them as well, but you can hear them. Also, where Stenhouse was, if he was looking straight, he'd see Kyle Busch in the peripheral vision of him, and he would see him, and he would see how close he probably is. So this wreck makes no sense to me as to why Stenhouse drifted up the track and wrecked Kyle Busch. It doesn't make sense. I've looked at replays. I don't get it. And I go as far as if this was Formula 1. Like, let's say in the Formula 1 race today, the British Grand Prix, Kimi Räikkönen turned Lewis Hamilton, just like a normal turn, and Räikkönen got a 10-second penalty. With what Stenhouse did tonight, with those two wrecks being mostly at fault for both of them, he should have gotten some sort of pen. I know this isn't in the rule book. I know it won't happen because, you know, NASCAR boys that boys have at it. But my goodness, he took out half the field. Stenhouse literally took out half the field, and he needed a police escort after the race, going back to his driver, owner, whatever, think he was going to, RV, whatever. I guess mistakes happen, and Stenhouse is a great plate racer because he's very aggressive, and that's what you have to do. You have to be aggressive at plate races. That's why the guys who win are usually aggressive. However, my God, there's a line, and he just... Oh my. There was one point in the race before the incident that put Stenhouse out of the race. He was coming out of pit road by himself. He made a move that looked like he was going to block the leaders, and then he tried going right up next to them, side drafting them while he was going 20 miles per hour slower. There's no reason to do that because you're just asking for trouble. So Ricky Stenhouse, I know you're not watching this, and I know you don't give a fuck of what I say, but dude, just chill just a little bit, just a tiny bit. Like, still be aggressive. We're not saying, like, you know, be a baby. You're not going to win races that way, but you just got to tone it down because some of the incidents from that race are completely avoidable, and it was stupid. So speaking of that wreck that took out Stenhouse, that was from Kyle Larson cutting a tire, entering the corner, and Stenhouse just had nowhere to go. And on Twitter, everyone was saying karma, karma, karma. But yeah, Stenhouse is out of the race now. Well, actually, no, he's not out of the race. I remember seeing him. He was at the back of the field trying to get his way back up there. My God, what a race. And then we had another incident with the 00, the 34 of Michael McDowell, the 10 of Eric Almirola. A tire comes flying off the cars, and it goes Chef Boyardee down the front straightaway trying to get to the finish line. What else can this race have? It had so many wrecks. Whenever drivers were in line, they were just chilling in the train. And then whenever they started racing, within the 5 laps when they started racing, they wrecked. It was... oh my God. So that wreck took out more drivers. Then we go towards overtime. And of course, another wreck happens that takes out basically what's left of the field. Bubba Wallace accidentally turns Clint Boyer in the same kind of fashion that Ricky Stenhouse turned Brad Keselowski. The only difference was there was only like 2 laps left, so even I would keep my foot in it. And unfortunately, that happens. I just think the situation with Stenhouse is that was way earlier in the race, so you could give a little. But here at the end of the race, I'm not going to say like Bubba's not at fault. He was at fault. He knows he's at fault. It is what it is. Unfortunately, this took out Harvick, it took out Bane, it took out Bowman, it took out Boyer, it took out Bubba. It just, whatever's left of the field is basically taken out. We head into the final lap with cars that are just trying to survive. Eric Jones is up there, Casey Kane is up there, Truex is up there, DeBennetto's up there, Jeffrey Earnhardt somewhere in the top 10. And in the final green light checkered, Eric Jones makes a pretty cool like 3-wide move on Casey Kane when Casey Kane was trying to side draft Truex. Eric Jones goes around the top side, is able to get the run, and coming to the start-finish line, Eric Jones wins his first career race, and that was the race. Oh my. Now the cool part about this race are the results, so let's go to it. Eric Jones, Truex, Allmendinger, Casey Kane, Chris Buescher. You have Casey Kane and Chris Buescher finishing the top 5, Allmendinger as well, with Eric Jones getting his first career win. Ty Dillon gets a 6th place finish. Matt DiBenedetto gets a 7th place finish. Ryan Newman 8th, Austin Dillon 9th, Alex Bowman 10th, Jeffrey Earnhardt, who hasn't been in the series for a while, finishes in 11th. Great run for him. Brendan Gaughan gets a 12th place. DJ Kennington, who was in the lead at one point, gets a 13th place. Bubba 14th. David Reagan 15th. That top 10 is crazy. Just like, I can give shout outs to everyone. Obviously, Chris Buescher, fantastic job. Ty Dillon, even though I don't really rate Ty Dillon highly, but hey, he brought it home 6th. DiBenedetto. This guy is not just the plate racing because he's been doing it everywhere. He takes that car and finishes the best he can with it. I really hope he gets a better ride. Really good guy. And I hope he gets better equipment because I can see the talent. And a lot of people from that I talk to in the garage area can see the talent in DiBenedetto too. It's very, very obvious that he's a talented driver, taking equipment that's not up to that level and finishing the best he can with it without wrecking, without doing anything dumb, and that's just really good from him. I hope he gets a better ride. And obviously Jeffrey Earnhardt with an 11th. I've met Jeffrey before in Charlotte for NASCAR E2, and he's just a really down-to-earth guy, and nice to see him finish 11th, avoiding all the mayhem that was Daytona. Ray Black Jr. finished in 16th. I didn't even know he was in the field, and he finished 16th. Stenhouse in 17th, and then the rest of the field is just basically wrecked race cars. Harvick, Bain, Chastain, Boyer, Jimmy, everyone down here is just wrecked. So it was mayhem. I can't even tell. I didn't see it on TV, but I don't know how many clean cars were actually left. Like cars without any damage. You guys have to tell me. It didn't look like it was double digits. I thought maybe 5 or 6 had no damage, and everyone else. I know Eric Jones, I saw his car in victory lane, and that car had damage as well. So, and yeah, that's Daytona. It was crazy. I don't know what it looked like on TV. In person, mayhem, absolute mayhem. Half the field wrecked before halfway of the race. And it was just, yeah, it was definitely crazy. I don't know how many times I've said that, but what did you guys think of the race? Let me know what you thought on TV, what it looked like on TV. I was hoping the wrecks maybe happened later because, you know, when guys started pushing it, because when you wreck that many cars early on in the race, it changes the complexion of the race. You saw a lot of train after those wrecks happened because there's just not a lot of energy in the pack and you just want to ride for a little bit. So I never liked the wrecks being that early, especially 2 of them being that early, but it is what it is. It was a good finish. Eric Jones taking it 3 wide to get to the lead. And we move on, I think, to Kentucky next week or New Hampshire, one of the 2. If you like the video, make sure to like button. If you don't already follow me on Twitter, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. Comment down below what you think of the race. And I have a lot of videos to make, and I need sleep. So I'll see you guys later. NASCAR E3 and a bunch of other stuff that we already have to talk about. So and my experience at Daytona, which, my God. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Even if I tried, even if I wanted to, and I can't change. Even if I tried, my love, she keeps me warm.